Hello everyone, welcome back to my class. Today I am going to explain expenditure method of national income. We know that there are three different methods of estimating national income, that is income method, expenditure method and value added method or output method. Now, according to our convenience, we use different methods in estimating national income. In some cases, it is not possible to measure the income or you cannot measure the value of output in terms of income, or in terms of output we cannot measure, so it becomes convenient to use expenditure method. Say for example, construction of houses. Same type of house, two houses are being constructed, but their cost of production may be different depending on the materials used in both the houses. The cost of production of one house may be 1 crore and the same type of house can be constructed by spending 2 crores also or 5 crores also, depending on the materials that are used. Now, in this class, I am going to explain the different steps that we are following while estimating national income. The first step is to identify the economic units incurring final expenditure, that is household sector, farm sector and government sector. All these sectors are spending money or making expenditure, and on the basis of that we will make an estimation of national income. So expenditure may be classified into 4 groups, that is private final consumption expenditure, which is called PFCE, then government final consumption expenditure, which is called GFCE, and next one is GDCF, gross domestic capital formation, and last one is net export. So private consumption expenditure, so this one is made by private individuals and private entities. Then next one is government final consumption expenditure. You see, as the name indicates, it is the expenditure made by the government. And next one is gross domestic capital formation. So this one is expenditure for in investment projects. And finally, net export, that means how much money we are getting from exporting our goods. Net exports means we are importing also and we are exporting. So net value, export minus import, that will be included here as net export. Now if we add, second step is to add the components of expenditure to derive GDP MP. That means if we add PFCE plus GFCE, then GDCF and NX, we will get GDP MP, that means gross domestic product at market price. Now, PFCE, GFCE, these things, you will not face any problem. The problem that we will face here, it is in GDP, GDCF, gross domestic capital formation. So what kind of problem you will face? It may be GDFCF. So gross domestic capital formation may be having 2 components, that is gross domestic fixed capital formation and change in stock, that is change in inventory. So it may be having 2 components, that is gross domestic, that is shown here. So GDCF may be having 2 components, that is gross domestic fixed capital formation, that is expenditure income incurred in terms of fixed assets, and change in stock, that is the closing stock minus opening stock, we will get changing stock. So it can be written as closing stock minus opening stock. This one we will have to calculate. Again, you may get suppose another classification of this. GDCF is NDCF, net domestic capital formation and depreciation. Sometimes it may be given like that. GDCF, gross domestic capital formation, is given as if this part will not be given, but you will be given NDCF, net domestic capital formation and depreciation. So it's quite easy. If you add net domestic capital formation and depreciation, you will get gross domestic capital formation. That is NDCF plus depreciation, you will get gross domestic capital formation. Similarly, GDFCF plus change in stock, you will get gross domestic capital formation. So this is the first step. The next step is from this gross domestic product at market price, we'll have to find out net domestic product at market price. So what we'll have to do to find out net domestic product at factor cost? So it's quite natural. We are having GDP MP here. So GDP MP minus, so gross minus depreciation. So gross minus depreciation will get net. So these three are gross and depreciation. We are getting like this. And another one we'll have to find out, this is domestic. Domestic is there. Product is there. Here MP, market price is there. We'll have to find out the factor cost. So what we'll have to do from market price to get factor cost, we'll have to deduct NIT, net indirect tax. And how do we get in net indirect tax? This one is found as indirect tax minus subsidy. We find NIT by deducting IT minus S, that is indirect tax minus subsidy. So if we do this, we are getting NDP-FC, net domestic product at factor cost. As I already have mentioned, NDP-FC is nothing but our domestic income. Next, what we will do with NDP-FC, if we add NFIA, we will get NNP-FC. With NDP-FC, if we add NFIA, net factor income from abroad, we will get NNP-FC, and the NNP-FC is nothing but our national income. NNP-FC is nothing but it is our national income. So the last step is NDP-FC plus NFIA is equal to NNP-FC, that is national income. So these are the steps by following which we can find out a national income by expenditure method. Now I am going to explain the precautions that should be followed while estimating national income by expenditure method. So the first one is expenditure on intermediate goods should not be included. Whatever amount of money we are spending on intermediate goods to purchase the intermediate goods, that should not be included in national income, because in definition of national income, it has already mentioned that national income is the money value of all the final goods and services that has been produced, not the intermediate goods. The second precaution that we should take is expenditure incurred on transfer payment should not be included. As I already have mentioned in my previous videos that transfer payment is not included in national income because these are unearned income. For transfer payment or transfer income, there is no economic activity. That is the only reason that why it should not be included. Next one is expenditure on second-hand goods should not be included. It's quite natural. Expenditure on second-hand goods will not be included because the second-hand goods are not the output of current year. This second-hand goods was produced in some other previous year, and the year when it was produced, in that year, that product has already been included. So if we include the value of second-hand goods again in the current year, it will create the problem of double counting or confusion will be there. Next precaution is that expenditure on financial assets such as bonds and shares should not be included. The same logic, because bonds, shares, all these are second-hand products. So we are not going to include any second-hand items. Next point is expenditure on own account production used for consumption and investment should be included. Because if we are spending some amount of money for investment purpose or consumption purpose for ourselves, then its value should be included because whoever is using, but the real goods are being produced and consumed or invested. So these precautions should be taken while estimating national income by expenditure method.